Alright, we're going to do the last molecule, and it's an ethanol molecule. So we're going to start again with carbon as being our central atom. It's the first element in the formula, but you'll notice we have two of them, so I'm going to put both of them in the center. And again, they both have 4 valence electrons. So we are going to show all 4 of those. And now I need to look at my formula. You'll notice I have 3 hydrogens. And this tells us that they're connected to the carbons. And we're not really sure how they're going to be assorted. We may have to move things around, but I'm going to start by putting all 3 of them on this first carbon. I'm going to use X's to represent my hydrogen atoms' electrons. And so now I've taken care of those 3 hydrogens. I still have this hydroxide group. And it's written like this because this hydrogen is actually attached to this oxygen. So I am going to put my oxygen on this side since I don't have any room over here. And this oxygen therefore must be connected to one of my carbons. And I'm going to use X's for its electrons too. And I'm going to put 6 around there. And I'm going to put my pairs on the top and the bottom this time. And then I have this hydrogen that is bonded to it, and so I'm going to use a dot to represent its electron. And so at this point it looks like everything would be happy except for this central carbon. It's still short 2 electrons, which means it's probably going to have to share more than just 1 electron with the carbon. And because there's really no place else for it to share electrons with this oxygen, so that really leaves the carbon. But right now, this carbon doesn't show that it has any unpaired electrons that are available. So I'm going to actually have to remove one of these hydrogens and move it to this carbon. So I'm going to get rid of this, and I'm going to move it up here. And so now, these electrons can be shared between these carbons, and these can be shared, which means it's going to be a double bond. And now everything should be happy. Each of the hydrogens have 2, and the carbon should have 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This carbon has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and this oxygen should have 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So at this time, everything's happy. So now I just need to turn this into my Lewis structure. So I'm going to go ahead and put my carbons, and because they're sharing 2 pairs of electrons, that's a double bond, so 2 lines. I have 2 hydrogens that are attached. And then on my second carbon, I have a hydrogen attached. I have an oxygen that's single bonded to it as well. And then that oxygen has a single bond to a hydrogen. This oxygen, though, also has 2 unshared pairs of electrons that we have to show. And again, you have to use dots when you come to your final Lewis structure. You can't use X's or whatever you're using for your shapes. They need to be turned into dots. So there would be the final Lewis structure for ethanol.